What's good, y'all? It's Channing, aka Juice, home of the Word of the Week podcast, Real Love Juice YouTube channel. It's good to have y'all back. Good to see y'all again. Another best week, another best day. So I can't complain. Last week's Word of the Week video was failure. So I know what I tried to do was fail as many times as I could. Because when you fail, you know you're getting that much closer to your goal, that much closer to an achievement. So that's what I truly did, and I felt like it was very impactful. And whenever I failed, I tried to have a positive mindset to it and kind of have that next play mentality. All right, I failed, but it's time to move on and go on to the next play. But moving into this week's Word of the Week, I'm excited. I have someone on from D&D YouTube channel, which I think you guys will really enjoy. I have a new Word of the Week that I think will be very impactful for the upcoming new year and weeks to come. So I'm excited for that as well. But let's jump into the video, man. It's about that time. So cue the intro. It's us. This week's Word of the Week will be complacency. So the word complacency means having a feeling of smug, uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. So what does that mean in my own words? Complacency means to be satisfied with not meeting your achievements or goals. To just be satisfied with mediocrity. And I feel like this is a horrible mindset to have. Since I was young, I just hated being complacent. Sometimes to the fact where it was maybe hindering to my own success. Ever since I was a young kid, I always tried to be a perfectionist. I hated messing up. Which I feel like is a good thing and also a bad thing because I hated messing up and I hated failing. It made me not to be complacent. It made me want to be as good as I could possibly be so that I would mess up less and less and less. So that's what I feel the word complacency means to me and how it's been in my life since from a young age. What drives me not to be complacent? I would say what drives me not to be complacent is that I want to be the best. At whatever it is, I want to be the best. I know that I was put on this earth for a reason and for a purpose. So whatever that purpose is, I feel like I have multiple purposes in this life. If I'm complacent, I'll never truly fulfill that purpose or each purpose. Because when you're complacent, you're never striving to get more. You're not striving to be better. You're not striving to be a better you. And that's the mindset that can't happen because when you're complacent, you're okay with mediocrity. You're okay with where you're at. You're okay with not bettering yourself. You're okay with your current situation, which your current situation could be okay, but there's always something you can improve on. I know in soccer, there's always something I can improve on to get better. There's nothing that I can't learn more of. As I said, I'm trying to start a business on the side as well. There's so many things I can learn and take from other people. So there's never a need to be complacent. Never need to be complacent because you can always learn. You can always ask people for help. You can always find different ways to improve something. I feel like when you do that, you'll see that your overall product of your purpose or your brand or your whatever will improve. Has there ever been a time when you were complacent? And if so, how did I get out of it? I would say there was a time when I was complacent. I would say that time when I was complacent was probably sophomore year in high school. Since I was young, I didn't make a soccer team. Whenever I tried out for a team, I always made it. But through that time, I did have some teams where I wasn't a starter at first and then I became a starter. But I would say as I started to grow up and grow older and improve, that really didn't happen. I was a starter with every team I went to. Sophomore year, I would say I started to get complacent. I started to get complacent to the fact of I wasn't grinding as much as I could have outside of my club practices. I was content with where I was. I was content with my abilities. And I felt that because of that, I started to feel that my mindset wasn't where it meant to be. When I was in certain games, I wasn't as productive as I could have been because I was complacent and I wasn't working or practicing the things that I should have been practicing extra. So as I've grown older, and I would say how I got over that was I had a real conversation with myself and realized this isn't where I want to be. I want to be the best I can be. So with me being complacent, I was still one of the best. But imagine how I could be when I'm not complacent and I'm putting in the extra work and I'm doing the extra things to improve myself. That really shows you that, yeah, you might be the best and you're being complacent, but what happens when you're being the best and you're not complacent, right? So it's the what if factor that, wow, you can really be even better than you already are, right? If you put extra work in, you do the right things, and you're just a good person, right? So that's what I would say is how I got out of complacency and why I never want to be complacent again, is because if I already know with my natural abilities that I can be one of the best, imagine how much better I can be when I'm not complacent and I'm putting in the extra work and I'm doing all the things that I have to do to get better and improve every day, 1% better every day. So what is my advice to someone that is stuck, being complacent and has no drive to improve or better themselves and achieve more? I would say this is tough because I feel like it depends on each and every person, because you have to look deep down in yourself and analyze where you are in your life, where you want to be in your life, your goals, what it takes to reach your goals. And if you don't have goals, that's the first problem. That's the first problem of being complacent, because if you don't have goals or dreams to achieve, you wouldn't know if you're being complacent, because you're not chasing anything. When you have something to chase, you can set a plan. When you have something to chase, you can see something a light at the end of the tunnel to grasp onto, to create motivation, to whatever it is. That's the first thing, the first step. And then once you do that step, I would say it's devising a plan, coming up with a plan to reach that goal, reaching that dream, and then it's being disciplined to that. I feel like one thing that helped from stop being complacent is to be disciplined instead. I feel like that was one of our word of the weeks. Discipline is super important, because without discipline, you will never achieve anything, because it takes a disciplined person to get all their work done one day and then go right again and do it the next day, right? Even when they're sad, even when they're tired, even when they're happy, even when they're drunk, even when they're whatever, they're still going to get done what they have to get done. That's just what it is. That's about being disciplined. So that's what I say is being my advice to someone that is in a complacent state in life. Just find that goal, find that dream, attack it, and devise a plan for it. But that's my take on the word of the week, complacency. It's now time for you guys to meet Chancellor Brewington, who was a former student athlete, football player at the University of Nebraska. Go Big Red. I'm an Ohio State fan, you know what I'm saying? I went to Ohio State, but I'll say go Big Red for him. And he also is one of the founders of the D&D YouTube channel. Make sure y'all go check them out. I love what they got going on over there. It's a new channel, but they got already over 2K subscribers. It's dope what they got going over there. He actually reached out to me. We've been close since high school. He was a little bit older than me, but we've been cool since high school. And he saw one of my Word of the Week videos and was like, this was dope. And I was like, hey man, you know what's dope? Let me get you on the channel, man. So Chance, I appreciate you hopping on the channel. I hope you're doing well. I love what you're doing with your new channel and your boys over there. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, let's link up next time you're in Arizona or whatever. But yeah, much love, and let people know what your take is on this word of the week, complacency, and how you've used it in your life. Because I know you've been through some tough times too, and you've overcome them. So let the people know.
Man, I think complacency is kind of forgetting who you are and your purpose. I think it all goes back to purpose. I think it goes back to what got you there, and also being self-aware in the moment that there's still a mountain to climb. I think a lot of times we do good, or even in bad situations, but most times we do good, and we think that's good enough, but really we never get to the top. We're always climbing, we're always fighting. What drives me not to be complacent is kind of just being motivated. And when I mean motivated, my definition of motivation is a little different. I just believe in that your life and the things you go through is your motivation. That's the truest form of motivation. No matter the pain, the suffering, whatever, if you can harvest that energy and put it into your craft, your work, the things you're putting into your purpose, the things you want to aspire to be. I think that's what it means to not be complacent. It's to stay motivated. And the thing with motivation nowadays, it's a motivational quote, but you can't hang on to that as much as you can hang on to your life and your life story. So I think that's the truest form of motivation, and that ultimately will drive you not to be complacent. I can't say there was a real time period in my life where I was complacent. I think we always have bad days, we always have good days, but I think the biggest lesson I've learned is to have checks and balances, and to also have people around you that give you checks and balances as well, if that makes sense. It comes a point sometimes where we get too high on ourselves and we need someone to bring us back down, not in a negative way, but in a realistic way, in a loving way. Because I think when you have a brother or someone you care about, I think that's a main thing, is you always want checks and balances. So when it comes to me being complacent ever, I think it's always a thing where you always got to snap back into it, and whatever gets you to snap back into it is different for everyone. I think one thing is my faith keeps me grounded, knowing that my God is greater, knowing that the things that he's instilled in me is a gift from him, and it's nothing that I've done. So I truly believe that the way to not stay complacent, man, is to be attached to a higher being, because it brings humility to you, and it recognizes how small you are and how vulnerable you are, and it kind of exposes some of that pride and that ego that you have. I think if someone is not feeling motivated, driven, doesn't want to achieve goals, doesn't want more for themselves, man, I think the number one reason for that, man, is first of all, who are you around? Are your people pushing you? Do you have to move locations? Do you have to move physical locations? Do you have to detach from people emotionally, spiritually? Do you have to get back to somewhere where you once motivated in another place, and you got to get back to there? I think that's a big one, man. And I will always say, man, a higher power, my God, he's just so great, and he keeps me going. That's where my strength is. I think there's a verse that says, when I'm weak, he's strong. So I think allowing God to enter your life, and letting him play you as an instrument, as he is the artist, you know what I'm saying, as he is the musician. So I think that's a big one, man. Knowing where your strength comes from, because then you'll always want more in situations, because you have more to give. But I appreciate you having me on. Word of the week, man. Word of the week. I appreciate it, man.
Chance, thank you for your impact and your input on this word of the week, complacency. I really appreciate it. Like I said, anytime we can link up, me, you, Buddha, whatever, the D&D crew, let me know. Love to link up again. Much love. I appreciate you. Like I said, this week's word of the week is complacency. Don't be complacent. Complacency is the killer of success. It's the killer of a lot of things. It's the killer of your dreams. So continue to just strive to be 1% better every day. Continue to make those goals, to continue to make those dreams, and then devise a plan and stay disciplined to reach those dreams and goals. Remember, to be a part of the Word of the Week crew is not just a saying, a hashtag, or whatever. It's a lifestyle that we have to abide by every day. Getting better, 1% better every day. And in doing so, you'll improve. You'll improve as a person. Your mental health will improve. Everything will improve overall when you're more grateful, when you're more driven, when you're more disciplined, when you're not being complacent. Everything will improve. So that's the word of the week. I want to say thank you guys again for watching the video. If you loved it, please subscribe. Please give it a like. Please comment below with any word of the week suggestions or who you should feature. And I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate it. But much love. Juice out. Don't be complacent. Peace.